Hi, everybody. Jose Luis Morales here. Welcome back to another episode of the Residual Real Estate Agent Show. Today, we have our newest eXp partners here with us today.
Let's go.
We have Eliseo Cisneros and Carmen Vasquez as well, too. And then we have the one and only Aaron Novello here with us. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us on the show. We're doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. What about you, Carmen?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having us here today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you guys on here. So I wanted to kind of bring you guys on, just kind of get to know a little bit about your story, how long in the real estate industry, and then how long married, how long have you guys known each other, and just a little bit about yourself.
All right. Sounds good. You want to go first?
Of course, I guess.
Ladies first, right?
So I started in 2004. I got real estate. I was born and raised here in Ventura County. Moved to Arizona 2003. Got licensed in 2004. Did real estate up to like 2012. And then I moved back 2013 and got licensed here in California 2014. So ever since 2014 here in the county.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And again, my name is Eliseo. I was born here in Ventura County as well. I've been licensed since 2004. I did loan origination back then. And then I started in real estate 2010. And you know my story, Jose. It took a few years off, sabbatical. I wasn't in jail, I promise. And then I got back into real estate in 2014, and I've been going at it ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Good, man. So what companies have you guys worked for in the past, and why did you guys decide to make the move to eXp Realty?
So I started in 2004 at Remax, and then I was there about a year and a half. Then I transitioned over to Sueño Realty from 2007 to 2012. Sleepy Realty. I'm going to translate that. And when I moved out here, that was 2014. I got licensed at C21, hometown. And I was there about 2 years. And then we joined Intero for about 3.5 years. Intero closed down here in Oxnard. So we kind of got the boot. We went over to Remax, and now we're at eXp now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, same here. I was actually, when I first got into the real estate sales business, I was working at Century 21, a brokerage in Oxnard. Then I took I went to Comfort Real Estate. No, not Comfort, Cobalt Real Estate. And then I took the 2 years off. When I came back into real estate, I started with Century 21 again, and then moved to Remax. Then I came back to Century 21. And then I went with Intero Real Estate Services, and then like she said, Intero closed down their doors, so we had to make a decision fast. So we went with Remax. We were there for 4 years, and we just we took the leap of faith, and we decided to join eXp Realty, I'm very excited about that opportunity.
Yeah. We're equally as excited. You guys are awesome, not only humans, but also awesome agents. Okay. Now, I was taking notes. Yeah, I mean it. I was taking notes as we were talking, and you guys definitely have a lot of experience of different real estate models, right? So I'm curious, like for the audience out there, from your perspective, you've experienced not only like, kind of mom and pop, right? Small boutique brokerage, and you've also experienced kind of, traditional models. So talk a little bit about that and what kind of value you received there, and then talk about why you decided to partner with us over at eXp and what the value proposition is there, because you guys are powerful agents. I mean, you do 70, 80 deals a year. So you have a lot of options at your disposal. So why did you decide to make that change?
Okay, so I was working with Century 21. Obviously that's all I knew at that time.
Yeah.
So when I left there, let's just say I left.
Yeah. Okay.
Voluntarily.
Yeah.
So I left there, and then I want to go. I took the 2 years off. I came back. I went with Century 21, then Remax. Remax was a great company per se. The fact that the only thing with Remax, obviously, you're alone. They're not much as far as like training and sales. You have to know what you're doing in Remax. Great company. And then I went back to Century 21 because they offered me coaching. So I went there. However, I really learned a lot more at Intero with under Danny Morrell. Yeah, he was a great broker. But then they closed down the doors, and we went back to Remax because I just didn't want to go back to Century 21 myself personally. So I went back to Remax. It was a great 4 years there. I mean, our business grew a lot. Then I decided to with eXp just because I felt like I wanted to be proximity in alignment with individuals that are doing, high volume, high units, which is obviously you guys. Yeah. So that's why I joined this company. Plus, it seems like everybody like in the eXp, they're there to support each other 100%, whether you're part of the downline, not part of the downline. It's a new company and the vibe is just amazing. So that's what I've gotten so far. I had the privilege of talking to other eXp agents from other downlines, and they're like, "Hey man, whatever you need, 100% support you." I'm like, "Oh, cool, man. Thank you."
I love that, man. Yeah.
For me, it was a little bit. I mean, obviously, I took his input into consideration. However, obviously, I have a strong personality as well. So for me, being that I was in Arizona for 8 years, when I moved from Arizona, we had a big REO account. So we were working with 100+ units. I did most of the negotiation for those, for Chase, for Bank of America, for Fannie and Freddie. So during that time, when I had to move back to California, I just thought, like, I'm going to pick up my business where it's at. Like, I came with 15 listings myself, and I was like, this is easy. This is cake. I can do it anywhere. Reality hit. I'm like, it's not as easy because I had a referral-based business at that point. So going into one of the coaching calls that I had with Aaron, one of the biggest things that he said was, you have to be skilled. And I think he was talking to you, Jose Luis, and he was like, one of the biggest things that you have to be so skilled that if they take you from California to Florida in 2 to 3 years, you're going to pick up your business like nothing. And I felt like, okay, we're good agents, but we're humble enough that there's a lot of growth for improvement. And we felt like, okay, we can do it our way and it might take 10 years. Do I want to spend those 10 years doing it my way when it's already been laid out and there's the foundation? So that was one of the biggest things for me, myself. And the other thing was the systems. I mean, last year we did 78 deals, which were, I don't know how we didn't lose our head. We didn't have an assistant. We didn't have anything. Aaron was pushing us. But the reason we didn't have the time to set up systems, and we were trying to hire help, but at that time it's like we were interviewing, wasn't the right fit. So we had a conversation, and it was either building the systems ourselves and taking time for my family and my production to build a system that we're not really good at. So why not have a system that's already built out, have the skills and be able to pick it up. Like Eliseo mentioned, we've been with small brokerages, we've been with bigger brokerages. I mean, we loved Remax, and it was a really, really hard decision for me to make. Last week I even told Aaron, like, I don't know, I should even cancel it and just stay where I'm at. But, God works in mysterious ways, and I felt like this was my next thing. Like, I have to work on something that nobody can take away, not a brokerage, not marketing. I feel like there's something that we need to work on, and it's ourselves, our skill level. So, I mean, I know that, the revenue share is a big thing, but for me, that's not my focus. For me is I want to be skilled enough where you take me in Ventura County, you take me in San Francisco, you take me to Florida, and I can pick up business wherever I'm at. So that's what was, made this decision pretty easy for me.
And that mentality came from Aaron, because a lot of people, I don't know if you guys know this about him, but his mom had a brain bleed at some point, and he was already doing like 75 deals in a market. He literally picked up his business, transferred to a completely new market, started over from scratch, and built it up to 150 plus transactions in any given year. So I think that's awesome. So what I wanted to ask you guys, because for a long time, I tried to keep Aaron a secret in Ventura County. For a long time, I didn't post about him. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And the reason is that I felt that Aaron was my competitive advantage for a long time. Like, I literally started growing when I started getting proximity to Aaron, because he started changing the way that I think. He started teaching me things and just kind of changing my mindset. how long have you guys been coaching with Aaron? Because I've seen your guys' production increase like as well too. When we were at Remax, I've seen you guys top 10, 750 plus in GCI, you know, so you guys are doing it. But what impact how long have you guys been coaching with Aaron, and what type of impact would you guys say that's had on your business?
I think we've been coaching with you, Aaron, since 2021. Right?
I think so.
Last year.
Yeah,
Last year. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it's been over a year. Yeah,
That's
believe me, I keep counting every time it hits my right off. I'm just kidding. No, it's so yeah, we've been coaching with Aaron for over a year. I feel like Aaron has impacted our business in a very tremendous positive way, because he's opened our eyes not just in sales, but also building a business and systemizing the business. Although we fought it for a very long time, and we're still maneuvering around it, but he's impacted our business, I think, in a tremendous positive way. That I've seen it in the results that I've produced, well, her and I produced. So yeah, I remember one time we had 25 escrows at one time, and I've told Aaron, I there's times I can't sleep at night. He goes, "Why haven't you hired somebody?"
Yeah.
It was pretty intense, man. But no, it's he's helped us a lot. That's for sure. Yeah,
That's
thank you
awesome,
for that,
man.
Aaron.
My pleasure, man. I appreciate the opportunity. And it's interesting because I wrote down a few things as we were speaking. One is that, you know, I think the tendency for a lot of agents, the focus, at least it was for me, was this obsession with getting to 100 transactions. To me, that was winning the Super Bowl of selling real estate.
Yeah.
If you could do 100 deals, like, okay, that's awesome, right? You want a championship. The question is can you do that consistently year after year after year after year, right? And we get so focused on transactions, we end up on a transaction treadmill where we're just constantly looking for the next transaction. And you guys are at a stage in life with your family and everything that's going on. I've gotten to know you over time. And usually what happens is people who have money have no time, and people who have time don't have any money. And the goal and objective is to have both time and money, right? In order to do that, we have to infuse some leverage into your business. The other thing I think is really interesting is you were describing, you know, all the different companies you've been at, and you know, the reasons why. I noticed a few things pop up because I've gotten to know both of you over time as people. So for Eliseo, it was really like training and exposure, right?
Yes.
It's really about getting proximity to information that can help you to go to your next level. Because again, you guys are already producing at, you know, a high level in this geographic area. You're one of the top agents in the area. So this is really about like, okay, this is good. We want to go to another place, right? Where we want both the time and the money. And then what's interesting, Carmen, because I've gotten to know you over time, is that you're very motivated by security. And because you're so motivated by security, this was really about you having a recognition that, hey, life happens. And if I change marketplaces, like, would I be able to continue to maintain what we're doing? And you viewed the proximity and the information and systems and all the stuff that comes with it as really an insurance policy. That no matter what happens, right? No matter what happens in markets, no matter what happens, you know, in life, so to speak, you have a particular knowledge base and a skill set that will allow you to thrive in any given environment.
And that's absolutely correct, because I fought with that a long time when we were building a team and we were already married, and I wanted to run my own business, my own transactions. He wanted to run his own transactions. And I've always felt like I want to now whatever I need to do to, you know, to not get ahead, but just to improve our quality of life, I'm going to do it. But it was at a point where I was, you know, where I wanted to accomplish myself. Like I want to put up, you know, 50 deals myself, or I want to do 35 transactions myself. But now you're absolutely correct, because I want to be at a point where he's not a listing appointment. I really don't need him to go. I can do it myself. And I've always operated that way because I started by myself. So I've always been like, okay, I can do it. So I never wanted to be dependent on him. And that was tough for me to be able to, you know, let him lead. But I did tell him, like, hey, you know, whatever's better for both of us, for the family, I'm willing to do it. Whatever seat I need to, you know, if I need to be, which I'm not I won't do coordinating. I will not do that. But if I
you have some standards, right?
Right. But if I have to do negotiations, whatever I need to do to make sure that we stay afloat, I'm gonna do.
Which I think is great, and because I was there having those conversations with you, that was not an easy thing.
It was not.
That took an extended, because I remember one of the first calls we had, I'm like you guys would have some separate things, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, are you just like, just in case this doesn't work out? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Is this like a unified force, right?
Yeah.
And then over time, I also noticed too that when you said be independent, you smiled. Where that's very important to you. And you're recognizing like as a unit, you can create something that allows both of you to be independent.
Correct.
Yeah, which is an awesome thing.
Yeah, for me, it's just watching the relationship that you guys have. I really look at both of you like a power couple almost, like with different skill sets, but the same goal. I think Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone said something that they say a story about two horses, and that individually they can all, each one of the horses can maybe carry like, I don't know the pounds, but let's just say 10,000 pounds individually. So 10,000, but together they can actually do 30,000 together. And that's kind of what I'm at least looking at you guys at together. Obviously, you guys can accomplish a lot more. For you guys, like, I'm so happy that you guys made the transition, because obviously I know that we can add tremendous value to you guys. I remember recently receiving a call from Eliseo. It was just random before he transitioned, and he called me and he said, "Hey, bro, I just want to say thank you." I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "One advice that you gave me saved me a lot of money in terms of taxes." And for me, it was just like for me, it was almost like a wake up call as like to the type of impact that we can have on individuals. Because I remember the first time I learned about that, I was like, why didn't my accountant tell me about this? Why didn't I know about it? Like, I was almost like it took some time for me to realize that on my own, meaning I had to pay ridiculous amount of taxes for like a year to 2 years. And so I said, no more. But now that one piece of advice for you guys made it so that you made a lot of money, but you didn't have to pay as much in taxes. So that's what I'm excited for you guys to almost just share everything that we've learned. So far, Eliseo, I know that you're pretty new to it, but have we just said, all right, great, Eliseo's jumped on, let's not try to help him? Or have you noticed a willingness to help in any way that we possibly can, from role playing to picking up a couch, anything?
Great question. Yeah. So no, I mean, see, everything that you and Aaron have said you guys were gonna do, you guys have done it. From the role plays to, just calling. You called me on a Friday evening where you can be, spending time with the fam when you're here at work still. But the fact that you called me, just kind of brainstorming my masterminding, if you will. The fact that you hooked us up with is it
Gio?
Gio, yeah, Gio, yeah, he's a good kid. He's 18, man. I was like, man, you have an Uber idea, bro. That's $1 million idea. Anyhow, so just the fact that he went to go pick up the items all the way to Carson to bring them back, it saved me some time. And yeah, I mean, I spend my time prospecting and doing lead gen, what I like to do myself, And going back with Carmen really quick, I always tell Carmen, look, let me just generate the business. You negotiate, because she is a better negotiator than I am. There, I admit it on camera. So anyway, so that's why. So yeah, I just I tell her to just get, I can get the deals, and she just negotiates everything.
That's funny. Yeah. The story that Eliseo was talking about on the first, I think it was like the first week that he joined real estate, I stopped by his office, and I'm like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive out to Carson to pick up a couch." And I look at him, I'm like, "Bro, are you serious? Are you really going to drive out to Carson to pick up a couch?"
Hey, you're looking for a camera. Like, is this a prank? Like, what's going on? Is this real?
I'm like, brother, you realize that you can pay somebody to help you do that. Literally, like, if you're making that type of money, you should not be driving out to go pick up a couch unless you enjoy it. Like, if you genuinely enjoy it and it's like maybe like a trip that you love, go for it. But if it's something that you don't enjoy and you're doing it, so what I ended up doing is I ended up saying, "Hey, look, here's my runner, here's his phone number, he can use my truck, just pay him for the gas and pay him for the trip, and he'll help you." And I ended up introducing you to him, and I said, "Hey, look, for whatever you need, instead of you running out there to do it, let's just hire him. That way you can stay focused and disciplined on the things that generate you more money versus like picking up the
couch.
The couch. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, if these guys are doing that type of business, bro,
Doing that type of
running
stuff.
all the transactions by themselves, running to pick up couches, bro. Could you only imagine like what type of business they could be doing if they didn't focus on that?
Welcome to our coaching calls, bro.
Right?
Aaron's like, I've been telling them this.
For over a year.
Yeah, dude.
They don't listen.
I was like, if they did that amount of business, bro, doing that, I'm just like, man, like, you know?
Yeah, it's just a testament to like work ethic and like grit. And I'm aware that that's awesome. At the same time, I think what happens is, at least it's true for me, like in my kind of journey, is that, and there's a culture of it now, which is like hustle and like grind. But what's interesting is that working harder only leads to incremental gains. It's like the difference between doing 70 deals and like 80 deals. To me, that's an incremental gain. What I'm interested in is in a quantum leap. I'm interested in like an explosion, right? I'm not interested in like addition and subtraction. I'm interested in like multiplication and expansion. So if the only answer that I have to things is more work, it's a lazy form of thinking. Now, while it's very important to work hard, you know, it's very important to have grit the way that you guys do. At the same time, you guys are not only like spouses, but you're mothers and fathers and daughters and sons, and you have all of this other stuff going on in your life. And traditional success in the real estate game is working 70 hours a week and having no life, having all of the ramifications that come with working 70 to 80 hours a week. So by getting kind of access just to that little thing, even though we're joking and it's like funny, but think about that little form of thinking when you play that out over an extended period of time, because you start to think to yourself like, wait a minute, like I'm exchanging my time for this activity. And is that a worthy exchange? Is it actually in alignment with what we're trying to accomplish? And as that thinking starts to begin to sink in more and more and more, then what happens is you start to alter your behavior, which is really what it's about.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what has you guys most excited about the future? What are some of the future goals, and how can we help you guys achieve those?
We have a 5-year goal, and it's every year we want to increase our residual income by this amount of money. So whether one of our next goals is Airbnbs, it's buying a multi-family property. So our minimum standard is buying one property a year. So that's what we most look forward to, and just buying back our time more than anything, because like Aaron said, yes, last year we did everything, whether it's to pick up a lockbox, whether it's, you know, pick up signs, whatever we needed to do, we got it done. We worked 120 hours each last year. I mean, that's like that's with kids, with, you know, running a household. I didn't even have a house cleaner. I just had I started to, when Aaron's like, what are you doing? And I was like, wait, and it was a mental issue, because I didn't want to be like, okay, now I get my car washed, now I have my house cleaner, now I have, you know, transaction, now I have an assistant. So for me, it was just letting go of that. It wasn't the money thing. It was more of the mental thing, in my opinion. So it's just letting go of that, and but everything comes at a cost. It's going to come at a cost of like me not doing it, spending more time with my kids. And that's something I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to sacrifice. So if I have to put in, you know, hours of role playing, if I have to scale up, I have to do that and still get to 100 deals, which is our goal. 100 plus, as Danny used to say, 100 or more. So that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're focused on ourselves, is like having an office, you know, for us that we're comfortable, that we're excited to go something that's ours. So that's, you know, small things that we're working on in the next 5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback on what she said, I mean, yeah, that's buying a property every single year. But from the business standpoint, you know, every morning I wake up and I envision myself doing 100+ deals by myself. You know, whatever she wants to do, that's just icing on the cake. You know,
and I have to do 101. I'm just kidding.
Let's go.
So 200 deals. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, my goal is eventually to do 100 deals by myself. You know, obviously producing, you know, $1.7 million in GCI by myself, and then whatever she does, I mean, that's, like I said, it's icing on the cake. You know, 5 years down the line, you know, having producing enough where you're attracting agents that want to learn from you, and having a good downline, you know, having at least like 200-300 agents under me on the downline with eXp minimum, or something better. That's my goal ultimately in 5 years down the line.
So for you, Eliseo, you were pretty like, you were sold like, I met with Eliseo maybe like a year ago, and he's told me like from the time I met with you a year ago, I was already sold on eXp. So what did you see before Carmen? Because I know that you had to talk to Carmen about it. Like, what is it that you saw with this company? Because obviously you've been at different companies. What did you see that like made you want to make the move? And before we get into that, I know that you guys said Airbnb. I know I recommended an Airbnb person. Have you had the conversation with him?
I have not. I'm actually going to call him this week.
Awesome. Yeah. So one of the other things though, like, because I was telling him that Friday night that I called him, I said, hey, look, I don't know if you've looked into Airbnb, but I've got 2 Airbnbs right now in an 11-unit apartment. I told him this is how much they're bringing in. And as soon as I said that, his ears just kind of perked up. He was like, what? He's like, you're making X amount of dollars on just these 2 Airbnbs. And what I proceeded to do right after that, I said, great, let me put you in contact with the guy that manages my Airbnb. So that's part of the value that I feel like I can add to you guys, is just connecting you guys with relationships that I already have, basically, to be able to kind of help you with that.
Yeah. Yes. So, and thank you for that. Yeah, we've actually been talking about that, about even our primary residence.
That's fine.
So
I'll keep it a secret. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't tell her.
Nobody else will know.
So what made me move to eXp? You said, because I remember when you were talking about it back in 2020. You joined 2021, right?
Yeah, I joined. I've been with the company for like a year and 6 months. Yeah,
year and 6 months. Yeah, so 2021. I when you told me about about eXp, I kind of had already heard about it in the past, but obviously it was just like, oh, okay, whatever. But then when you told me about it, I was like, I watched the video with Lars Hedenberg because you sent it to me, and yeah, it made sense. For me, for me, I make decisions quick. I don't like to mess around. If it makes sense, I do it. If it doesn't make sense, I don't do it. And this one for me, it made a lot of sense in every form, shape, and matter. So basically, from the financial standpoint, from the training, especially once you started building your value proposition, I was like, it's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. And then when you brought Aaron Novello on the thing, it was like icing on the cake. I mean, I'm already coaching this guy, like, damn, I'm sold.
Just by the way,
where do I sign? But obviously, I can't move alone, right?
Yeah.
Carmen.
And just so you guys know, when we did partner up with Aaron fought it.
Oh, hard,
Fought it. But he's told me certain things that like on investing that I have fought initially. So sometimes like the crazy thing is when you're exposed to an idea, like I fought eXp in 2017. I'm like, nope, waste of time, not gonna do it. And then when I told Aaron, he's like, nope, never. He almost told me never, and that like inspired me even more to be like, yo, you know what? Like, you're gonna move here, and I'm gonna show you why this is such a great company.
Yeah, it's funny because as we were pulling in, to do this, we were laughing in the car about the different things that we've suggested to each other, where the initial answer was a hard no. Like, nope, I'm good, bro. Gotta go. See you later. Bye. Like that sort of thing, right? And how, one of the things that I've learned in my experience is that there's nothing more expensive in life than a closed mind. So it's just like a willingness to open your mind to actually study something long enough to see if it actually makes sense. Because my experience was that I never took the time to actually study, right? And part of that was influenced by the fact that I owned part of a KW office, and so it was just like a hard no, but I never really took the time to really look at it very, very closely. So to your credit, bro, I appreciate you for not giving up and getting inspired. And, I really appreciate you guys for, the trust that you put in us, because I'm aware you have a lot of options to choose from. We do appreciate you choosing us, and our intention is to add, as much value as we possibly can to help you to accomplish all those beautiful things that you just mentioned are the goals and objectives.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and I'm excited.
Yes.
I was the one that's fighting it the most, but when I met with Jose Luis, I told Eliseo, I'm not going to sign with him. I just want you to know that I'm not going to sign. Like, if you really want me to meet, I'll meet, but I'm not signing. And then I had all of these objections, and when I met with you, I was like, okay, this was handled, that one was handled. So I was finding ways to still, I guess, fight it and say no. And then to a point, I know he really, really believed in it. He believes in eXp. He saw the vision, and he's like, "We just have to do this. You have to get on board." Like he was to a point like, "I'm gonna sign whether you sign or not." It was like to that point, and so I thought about it, and I said, "Okay, what is our long-term goal? You know, we have to get out of our comfort zone, which we were very, very comfortable, and we had several options, and we're like, no, but we like it here. It's, it's a perfect company. And we just said, you know what, let's just move forward. We don't go back. We always move forward. And my dad's a businessman. He, since I was a little girl, that's all I've known, like, to grind. Like, I saw them wake up from 5 a.m. until like 11 o'clock at night for months without a day off. So that's all I've ever known. And he had a conversation with me like over the weekend, and I said, Dad, I'm kind of nervous about this move. What do you think? He's like, daughter, we don't go back. We move forward. So it's like, okay, he's like, there's no going back. There's moving forward. So that's the goal.
But I mean, she's our close. You took me 4 years of the follow-up to have her sign the contract.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sign the contract, please.
That's awesome.
I love that. And one of the things you said, Carmen, that is really awesome, I wrote something down, is that my experiences as well is that our comfort keeps us from our calling. And I remember having that conversation with you guys, because I'm like, yeah, like, you're comfortable. I'm aware that my experience has been is that my comfort keeps me from my calling, what it is that I'm really, really after, right? And, congratulations for you for not only, because what's interesting is that I think the tendency is to only look at like what I'm risking. And we think that we can imagine that we can avoid risk forever. And the truth is that everything is risky.
Yes.
And what I'm not calculating in is the risk of not doing it. Right?
Right.
So good for you for like having that kind of thinking pattern and saying like, hey, what's the opportunity cost here? What am I risking if I don't do this? Right? Because being that you're somebody that's so motivated by security, it required a lot for you to make that jump.
I did.
So good for you.
Thank you.
I'll finish this off for like one of the big driving factors for me, and I think it's probably a big factor for you, because we both have a little one, and just looking at that little one, for me, I didn't see a way for eventually for me to be able to have more freedom in my life. I looked at the other agents in the real estate industry, which we both know the names, that are working. They're 70, 80 years old. They're working, selling real estate, not because they want to, but because they need a paycheck. And I looked at that as a result of the real estate models that exist locally and nationally. And I look at other agents and I look at them like, if you continue to follow that same path, you're going to be in that same position where you don't have the freedom. Like, you guys are the exception, like, meaning like most real estate agents don't own any rental property. You guys already own rental property, but most agents don't have that vehicle. So for me, I looked at this model as a way for not only for me to create a platform for my family and myself, but I also looked at it as a way to improve the life of other agents as well too, by giving them a vehicle where they can actually like build the retirement plan either through stock or residual. The other thing that I wanted to say on camera is that I am really proud of you, Eliseo, and I'm proud of you as well too, Carmen. We go back to Century 21, and there was multiple conversations that we had, and I remember one specifically in my office where he told me, look, Jose Luis, I'm a little bit behind you right now, but I'm going to catch up to you, and I'm going to own rental property, and I'm going to do 100 deals. And to watch your progression, both of you, over the last 10 years, bro, where you were at to where you are now, bro, it's amazing, bro. And you if you continue to do what you're doing and just putting yourself out there, bro, you're a huge inspiration to a lot of people that were once in the position that you were in. And it shows that sometimes even I know that Carmen has been a big positive influence in you, because I've seen the change now since you've been married, and I see the impact that you have on them, Carmen. So I am really proud of both of you guys, and I'm really proud of what you guys have accomplished, and I'm excited about the future. Just for our viewers out there, the other thing that I want to just mention is that sometimes whenever you get in proximity to people that are already doing what you want to do, it's just basically a shortcut. You can figure it out on your own. You guys can. You guys are smart. You guys have the talent. You guys have that. You guys can figure it out on your own. But I'm excited about helping you guys get to where you guys want to go in a shorter time frame. And like I said, I'm committed to doing that. And I'm committed to helping you guys out with that. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of our heart. So any final closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I'm just very aware that you guys had many options at your disposal. It's a privilege and a pleasure to partner with you. And to piggyback off what Jose said, you know, our intention is to add as much value as we possibly can. And the goal and objective is that you do pass Jose. That's the goal. Like, that's what we want to happen, right? So it's awesome to be on that journey with you, and look forward to seeing what you guys are going to actually accomplish.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Last thing is, where can they find you guys if somebody's curious about eXp or somebody's curious about what you guys do, somebody wants to connect with you, maybe you've served as an inspiration for somebody, how can somebody get a hold of you?
They can find me either by phone, 805-612-9889. They can find me on Instagram at Eliseo _ Cisneros _ I couldn't get Eliseo Cisneros for some reason. But yeah, it's ELISEO _ CISNEROS _ on Instagram.
Awesome. Carmen?
And then for myself, texting or calling is always better, 805-490-9078. Or you can find me on Instagram, Carmen Vasquez _ broker. Yeah, send a quick text, a DM. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
And then Novello?
Yeah, you can find me at Aaron Novello on TikTok.
All right. For all our viewers, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Once again, thank you guys for trusting us. Thank you for believing. We're excited about the opportunity to work with you guys. And for all of our viewers out there, thank you so much. And talk to you guys soon.